More than 1,400 people are missing after yesterday's flash flooding and mudslides on the Nepal-Tibet border. 362 people are known to have been killed. Many foreign tourists are among those who remain unaccounted for, including at least 33 from Britain. As the waters have receded, the scale of the damage and the enormity of the task facing rescuers has been revealed. Hundreds of Nepalese soldiers have been sent to the region to search for survivors. We'll be looking tonight at what's thought to have caused such devastation and have the latest on what's being done for the Britons caught up in it. But our first report is from our correspondent Azadeh Mashiri, who's travelled to the Trishuli River. A warning that this contains images you may find distressing from the start.
A devastating calm, the aftermath of a painful disaster. Villagers pick through what is left of their homes, their livelihoods.
Oh my God, Mario.
Yesterday's chaos, caught by construction workers trying to escape the onslaught, sweeping away everything in its path.
अभी challenges सबसे बड़ी challenges तो ये है कि रास्ता.
We are facing a lot of challenges, and the biggest one being blocked roads. As of now, we're not able to tell how many people are still stuck or buried under the debris.
This is some of the military support that is arriving at the airport. All the efforts that are being made to find the hundreds who are missing right now. And over here, there are families of those who are missing, who are gathering, who've been waiting for any information they can find.
Deepak and Madhu Ahuja were returning to Texas from a pilgrimage, their daughters waiting for any news.
We all immediately started calling our parents, no answer. And then we both received an email from the Isha Foundation saying that the floods had hit and that our parents were in a group at the immigration office on the China border with Nepal that had been impacted by the flood. It's only been one day, but it has felt like much longer. I think we're just leaning on each other and our family.
Hundreds caught in the disaster were pilgrims and trekkers who had travelled to the region for the upcoming full moon festival. Helicopters make journeys back and forth from the capital, racing to save lives, dropping supplies to others who were able to climb up away from the flooding. We drove up the mountains and the winding roads from Kathmandu to one of the worst hit areas, Trishuli. On the way, we pass ambulances, but also hearses. Emergency teams are still working through utter devastation in northern Nepal and racing to save lives.
This is as far as our car could reach. The road ahead is completely blocked off, and that's because we're very close to the Trishuli River. One of the relief workers here said that there was just a wall of water here before, and that past this point, there are entire villages that have been washed away. The damage here, looking at that car right here, I mean, it's obvious, and the scale of this disaster is becoming much clearer. And meanwhile, the rescue workers, they're working through the night yet again.
But the danger is not over yet. There are warnings that some debris washed away into the river systems could trigger more flooding. But for now, the search for survivors continues. Azadeh Mashiri, BBC News, Trishuli.
Well, hundreds of people are also missing in Tibet, although the Chinese authorities have only publicly confirmed 3 deaths. Search and rescue efforts have continued for a second day. Our China correspondent Laura Bicker joins me from Beijing. Laura, what are you hearing about the impact from where you are?
Well, we've been told that 558 people are missing, 260 of whom are foreigners. We're told that they were tourists and pilgrims making their way between Nepal and that sacred mountain, Mount Kailash in Tibet. It's worth pointing out, Jane, that this is one of the most carefully controlled regions in China. And that is one of the reasons why we as foreign press cannot go there or independently verify what Chinese state media is telling us. But we are being told that rescue rescuers are facing major obstacles. And within the last few hours, we have been told by China's water resources that they're monitoring a lake that has formed within the debris further up from Geirong port. That is the focal point of China's disaster efforts. You may remember the footage from yesterday where that torrent, that wall of water, crashes into the port buildings, removing everything in its path while hundreds of people flee for their lives. Those images have not been shown here in China, but we are being told that they're worried about a lake that has formed upstream that is now rising. And China's water resources officials say that it may burst its banks within the next 3 days. So even getting rescuers on the ground is proving a very difficult task.
Laura, thank you. Laura Bicker with the latest there in Beijing. Well, here the King has issued a statement to say he and the Queen feel deeply for the many families anxiously awaiting news of friends and relations who are missing in Nepal. Tim Muffet has more.
In Uckfield, in East Sussex, Pramod's been facing a desperate wait for information. He runs a Nepalese food truck, and several members of his family have been missing since the devastating floods, including his wife.
I was married like 2 months ago. I have heard from my dad. He's okay apparently, but my wife, my mom, my brother and my uncle, where they were, the house isn't there anymore. Obviously it's taken by flood, so it's probably they've been like in the house and obviously taken by the flood.
Pramod's flying to Nepal this evening to be with his father and to do what he can to try and search for other members of his family.
It's very hard to think straight at the moment, but when I go there and talk to my family, my dad, then I will know better.
The Prime Minister today offered his deepest condolences and said the government would be doing everything it could to help.
The immediate offer that the Foreign Secretary has relayed to the Nepalese government is an offer of first responders, search and rescue support. Britain excels in this, and we're there and we're ready to be deployed.
At least 33 people from the UK, including 2 teenagers, are amongst the hundreds still missing following this disaster. Families across the world are facing an anxious wait for news about their loved ones. Tim Muffet, BBC News.
Well, the deluge in Nepal was triggered by a collapse of a glacier, according to the US Geological Survey. Video footage filmed today shows a massive chunk of rocky debris rolling down the Trishuli River amidst all the floodwater. Our climate editor Justin Rolat has been looking at what caused such destruction.
It is hard to comprehend the scale of this. A wall of water, mud and rock tearing into a town. So what set it off?
This shows the area where the disaster happened. Now, the village hit by those catastrophic floodwaters is down the valley down there, but scientists, and they're still piecing together the evidence, believe it began on this mountain. This is Langtang Lirung, and one, possibly 2 glaciers broke away, causing an avalanche of ice and rock. You can get a better idea of what happened with close-up satellite images.
This image was taken the day before the disaster, and this is after the event. Look how the valley floor has been scoured. A huge section of the mountainside has vanished.
Part of the issue is the shape of the valley. Whoa! The Himalayas are still rising rapidly, at least in geological terms, and at the same time, rivers are carving ever deeper, steeper valleys, and that leaves glaciers perched high on the mountainsides. Scientists believe this collapse began more than 5 kilometres above sea level, and the rock and ice fell almost a kilometre straight down into the valley. Now, just imagine for a moment the forces involved.
In fact, the deadliest single impact of the 2015 Nepal earthquake was a similar avalanche on the other side of the same mountain. Again, part of a glacier broke away and millions of tons of ice, snow and rock obliterated an entire village, killing well over 200 people. It is too early to say for certain what role climate change played in this latest event, but scientists say it is likely to have been a factor.
Climate change will cause glaciers to melt more meltwaters to be around in these environments, which will loosen things up, releasing more landslides and debris flows. So we know that climate change is going to make these landscapes more destabilised, and it could lead to events such as this.
Just 2 weeks ago, we highlighted similar but much smaller avalanches in the Alps this year, linked to melting ice and thawing ground. This climber was caught in a rockfall on Mont Blanc. We can't yet say whether climate change caused the tragedy in Nepal, but we can say that the ice that helps hold the world's high mountains together is disappearing. Justin Rolat, BBC News.